Reserve?
Okay, I think we're ready to start the Finance Committee meeting. We can have all participants. Okay, I'd like to call this Finance Committee meeting to order. The first item we have is the assignment or request for council action. We have several for finance. We have 24-181, waiver of uncollectible accounts. 24-182, purchase security trailer from I2C Technologies, Police Department. 24-183, rescind ordinance 9224, JCG 26, Sandridge Food Corp. 24-184, expenditure to technology engineering, email, Muni Court and City. 24-185, RFPs, drug screening. 24-186, grant application ODOT bump outs. 24-187, 2024 police vehicle purchase, Montrose Ford, 5 vehicles. 24-188, ground lease with University Hospitals Airport. 24-189, ratify 1976 agreement with county commissioners. 24-190, purchase of 6 Stryker ballistic shields, Protec sales. The first item we have is 24-181, waiver of uncollectible accounts. Keith?
These are the accounts that we can't pursue, we can't certify, they're either bankrupt or sheriff sales, and so we have to move on. I figured you'd want to know, we have one that we certified. There was, after this and all of our efforts to collect, there was only one that we sent to the county. It's $279.10 for utilities. And then we had 20 sidewalk accounts that we sent, totaling $16,160 and change. Then there were another couple that asked for payment plans that Board of Control approved on the sidewalks, but that's it, so.
All right, any questions?
Nope. Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 24-182, purchase security trailer from I2C Technologies. Please, Lieutenant, oh, who's doing this? Sergeant?
Thank you,
Zaremba.
Mr. President. I'm filling in for the chief tonight on this topic. This is a camera that's in your packet. It's a self-generated unit that extends a pole 25 feet in the air, and up top it has multiple types of cameras, from PTZ cameras to fixed cameras to license plate recognition to actually radar built into it. The unit was $60,000. There's a discount from the vendor of $20,000. He has a grant for $25,102. It leaves him a balance of about just shy of $15,000 for the unit. It's a sole proprietor. It's a unique concept and a unique design that's just kind of been implemented out there, and it's a self-contained unit that fits basically in a parking spot. We see a lot of use for it with camera coverage of an entire area like Public Square when we run into festivals, ice festivals, things like that. The fair, putting it up over at the fair to give us the ability to pan, tilt, zoom, move around, plus the fixed cameras, plus if we have traffic complaints, we can utilize the radar technology and the license plate recognition that's in it.
Questions?
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 24-183, rescind ordinance 9224, JCG 26, Sandridge Food Corp. Mrs. Marshall?
Thank you, Mr. President. This request is to rescind ordinance 9224 relative to the job creation grant agreement JCG 26 for Sandridge Food Corporation. This is due to a change in circumstances and a new opportunity that has presented themselves to the company. So when more details become available, they'll likely be bringing a new project to the city, and we can bring it back to council at that time. Thank you.
Any questions?
Mr. President,
Yes, Natalie.
I'm going to recuse myself since my son works there.
Okay, so there'll be one abstention on this one. Any other questions? Paul?
Yes, I do. The new project that they're working on, it's going to keep things in the city?
Yes,
Thank you.
and it would be a bigger project.
Thank you.
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions?
Abstentions?
Aye, one. All right. 24-184, expenditure for technology engineering, email, Muni Court and City. Sergeant Zaremba?
Thank you, Mr. President. So this was the project that we've emailed about and discussed. The dollar amounts individually didn't really meet even border control amounts, but we thought it was best for to be transparent as the time has come that we move away from in-house traditional email servers that we've had for years and years and years and go to the hosted solution for multiple reasons. Security being the most, support, all of those things. So what we've combined here is 33 users of Muni Court and 158 users for the city of Medina. These are the costs. I put a little buffer in there, 10% for a year's worth of a hosted Outlook, in this case Office 365. It's the standard, the industry standard. We try to do a small comparison on a small sample with Gmail, way more money fiscally. So as a group, it'd be very similar to what we're using now. You would hardly notice it. It's an Outlook basic client, but it's just the mail servers are housed within Microsoft environment for redundancy and whatnot.
Okay, questions? Paul?
Thank you. The dates here, end of 2023 to 2024, are those correct?
Yes, thank you. I'm glad you brought that up. Our thought was we could have gone in and created quotes for 2 months because we're going to try to migrate in October and do October, November, December. And the mindset after discussing with the mayor and finance that we would be able to carry this purchase because it's being done now through to get us through the end of '24. So
Well,
this is the
Through
cost.
the end of '24, what about '25?
We'll have to re-up in that.
Okay, so it's a new deal.
Yes.
So why are we including '23?
This would close out '23 and do '24 because we're going to make a migration in October of this. No, '23 is passed.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
talking
you.
about '24 to '25, sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you.
dates
So
are
you want
messed
to
up.
change these dates?
Yep.
Okay,
We
thank
got
you.
it. Yep.
That's, okay. I knew you'd talk your way into it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, any other questions?
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 24-185 RFPs for the drug screening. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, on the RCA, there's a correction. I think it was just cut and pasted. It says the current contract is with Integrity Verifications. The current contract is with USA Mobile Drug Testing. And according to the department heads that I've spoken with, most recently Nina, this USA Mobile Drug Testing has done a good job for us. And there may be some changes to the Healthy Medina program because it looks like the hospital is backing away from that a little bit. So this USA Mobile also offers some programs with that. We're vetting it through them and also vetting it through One Digital, which is the former DS Benefits Group. That's our broker for healthcare. So we will have something in place for the Healthy Medina. But long story short, we bid this every year. And it's just a correction that instead of Integrity, it's USA Mobile Drug Testing. They're right down here on West Liberty.
Questions?
Just a comment, we actually use them as well and very happy with their services.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 24-186 grant application with ODOT for the bump outs. Patrick?
Thank you. You might remember our discussion at the last meeting about the potential pedestrian bump outs on the square. We think will provide a nice safety improvement. We did reach out and we spoke with ODOT, and they do have safety funds available. They're encouraging us to apply for them. The one thing, the application deadline is at the end of the month, so we have to be quick. If successful, these funds will pay for 90% of the construction costs for these bump outs, and not just on Court Street, but we're also looking at Broadway to do the same thing there. They're open to that. Because this is kind of flowing, we don't have an estimate at this time. We will certainly before the council meeting to let you know what the city share would be.
Questions?
Mr. President, Patrick, just for those who are watching and may not understand, could you give a brief description of what a bump out is? Because I've been asked a couple of times.
Yeah. There's specific corners around the square where there's no right-hand movement of vehicles or trucks. And those, for instance, be the south side of Liberty and Court, for instance. We have an opportunity to provide bump outs where it's an extension of the sidewalk. It'd be a curbed area that pedestrians can queue on before they cross the street. It minimizes, shortens the length of the crosswalk, so they're in the crosswalk, kind of exposed for a less amount of time, and it makes it more visible. The idea is that it provides a safety improvement. We'd have two there, two on the north side of Washington and Court, and then the same on the other side of Broadway.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 24-187, 2024 police vehicle purchase, Montrose Ford, 5 vehicles. Lieutenant Markham?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is for the purchase of 5 new cars under the CUE purchase contract. 3 are budgeted this year, 2 are coming out of our carry forward, and there's a possibility of 1 potentially being reimbursed by a grant later in the year. This covers the upfit of the vehicles as well.
And when's the delivery? Did they say that?
Anywhere from 3 to 7 months.
Oh, okay. Any questions?
Move to approve?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 24-188, ground lease with University Hospitals Airport. Mr. Huber.
Thank you, Mr. President. We just finished negotiating with UH on the helicopter use out at the airport. UH has a facility where they have helicopter operators stay overnight. It's a building that they built. The lease agreement calls for a payment of $1,200 per month for keeping that building on the city's airport ground. The term of the lease is for 5 years, and they have an option to renew the lease for an additional 3 years and then an additional 2 years after that. The hospital has done well with respect to the use of the property. They buy our jet fuel, and it seems as though it's a good use both ways. They provide safety with respect to the helicopters that they're able to use running out of our airport. So this is the end of the efforts negotiating with them, and it's now before you.
Any questions?
Move to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 24-189, ratifying 1976 agreement with commissioners. Is this Mr. Huber again? Or who is this? Mayor?
This is an agreement that the mayor in 1976 entered into with the county for a piece of land that is adjacent to or a part of the Old Town Cemetery. Not sure what the reason for the agreement in 1976 was, other than the school at that time wanted to expand the parking lot, and the city agreed to give that to them. This is before council now for ratification because the issue never came before a city council. And what's up, John?
Well, I was just telling you, I think the school wasn't there. I think the commissioners owned it because they signed the agreement at the time.
Oh, okay.
I think it, Craig, was they were putting the sidewalk in that connected Liberty over to Friendship Street.
Okay. So it would have been the county commissioners. I guess at that point, they were in control of that issue. I think the school still had the administration building as a,
No, because the high school in 74, so the administration building had already moved to, or the middle school had moved to Claggett then.
okay. So I'm mistaken on who was there. But, so it would have been the county commissioners that asked the city for this, this agreement. It never came before council, and so I'm asking the council to ratify the agreement since the relationship still continues. We actually were not able to find this agreement because it never came before council and wasn't properly cataloged in the normal sense that we catalog these kinds of agreements. We were able to find the agreement through the county's secretaries. So we should get this properly cataloged. It should be on the record so that we can find it whenever we need to.
And I think I mean, I get the ratification of it, but should we wait until, I think we are spending money just to do some surveying to make sure that everything is copacetic with respect to the removal of the graves and stuff? I mean, I don't know if we should do, I think that's being done this weekend or next week? When is it being done?
Yes, sir, Saturday the 14th. So that'll be the surveys conducted. I didn't really get a pinned down date on the report because it'll be thereafter, so I'm not sure how soon the report will will be given to the city after that.
I mean, if that checks out, I guess I don't think anybody here has a problem ratifying it, but I don't know if we should ratify it without knowing that information, because then we would look silly.
Right. And we just have to find out if there are actually graves.
Which I don't hope not, I don't think.
Well,
that would be
the problem with the old cemetery, a lot of the graves, people that were interned there were moved to Spring Grove, but the record keeping back then was not great, so that's why the cities contacted the U.S. Marshals, and they're going to actually do the survey and find out if, because we don't want to ratify it if there's graves there.
It's like X-ray equipment or something, right? Is that what I'm thinking?
They did the same, I don't know if it's the same group, but they did the same thing. The county home had a cemetery that they had no idea where the graves were. They come in with the same technology and was able to actually mark the graves.
Where they
Some of
were.
them back from the Revolutionary War, so.
Well, that's good. So, Greg, I mean, is there a problem waiting till we get that answer back?
No, no problem at all. The county's in the process of reworking that parking lot, so
Okay.
it's a good time to get it in front of council, and I think you should pass this when you feel comfortable.
Right, no, once we get the information, I think it would be fine, I mean,
And Nino said the county's been very gracious in holding up, redoing the parking lot in that area, because they have, obviously, the rest of the parking lot north of
to do
there.
it, right. And did they say, once they do this survey, how long before they know, I mean, they're gonna know the answer immediately, I would imagine, but how long before we know the answer?
That's what I'm not sure on the report. I imagine because they're doing two studies, an electromagnetic survey and then a ground penetrating radar. So I think if something's visible through their surveys, they would know promptly. and
Yeah,
then
they would let us know
I
for sure.
think they would
Okay.
know, but the report should be shortly after. I apologize, I don't know exact day of the report or how long, but I'll find out
Okay.
tomorrow.
So let's hold this to the next meeting to get the answer, and then we can move it forward. Okay? Okay. 24-190, purchase of 6 Stryker ballistic shields, Protect sales. Lieutenant Markham?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is to purchase 6 ballistic shields to carry in police cruisers in case of an active shooter situation. These are being funded by a donation we received several months ago from the Park Foundation.
Any questions?
Move to approve?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Anything else to come before finance, before we take a little break and have the State of the City address? All right, hearing none, the meeting is adjourned.
And that's at 6:30, right?
6:30, yes.